So our disclaimer's up. Let's see, did I put, oh, I did. I did. Okay, check this out. Nick, you're gonna love this. Wait, hold on, I gotta share your screen. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. And sir, let's see the best trade of the day. I'm ready for you.
Okay, so you want me to go first?
Mm-hmm.
All right, good, good. So coming into the day, we were kind of looking for some of the internal, like I thought we were in the middle of the range of the overnight session, and I was looking for something to give me a clue on, the direction of the day and what was going to happen. We both kind of saw there was a little bit of support right at the beginning of the day, and basically what I saw was this: I had pre-market resistance in this zone. I had um, initial resistance right here, which was lined up with the all-time high, lined up with the overnight high, and everything else. And we pushed up, and we went into the pre-market resistance zone. We came down, and I took. Well, maybe I shouldn't even say what I took because that's not exactly what we're doing today. But we got a push through the mid, and we stopped short at 37, reversed course, and pushed all the way back up.
Yep.
Um, but that was not the trade of the day. It was interesting. So it initially went to my initial resistance zone at 52, reversed on a dime, and started to come back down. So if you were to take this, it would have had to be a location trade only. There was really nothing telling you except for the fact that this is where resistance should be,
Mm-hmm.
and the all-time high was here, and all the reasons why you'd want to be short this level. But the real trade of the day was when it fell through the mid, and it starts to do that right in here. So we initially balance. We balance here, above here, we zipper right around this level, and then some serious selling starts to come in, and I'll show you how that looks. So boom, right there, we break the mid. Mid is the blue line there, you can see it right at this level. So the trade setup is when you break the mid, you short right away on any type of pullback to that area. And you're expecting no major retracement, and it's going to go and change the direction of the course of the day. And this is what you get.
Bam. Look at that thing go.
And it goes right off the screen.
Okay, well, on this screen,
Um,
I want to point out one thing. See those last 3 push-ups before the break through the mid actually happens.
right.
Yep. Now look at your delta.
Head and shoulder pattern here.
Yep. Look at your delta. It's just decrease. That's what I call lowering participation.
Yes.
So you get that it's the most at the high, uh, and then lower, and then boom. As soon as especially as soon as it breaks the volume amount of that third wave to the downside, you should be pretty clear to join.
Mm-hmm.
That probably happened at the mid anyways, but maybe it give you a few extra ticks.
It would, except for the only thing that I avoid doing is like you could take this trade at 50. Let's say you did take this trade at 50. You would have to be very cautious around the mid because that's where it should support.
Hmm.
Once it starts falling through that mid, though, I mean, you could even take the trade at 50, scale one at the mid, and then see if it breaks through.
Yeah, that's what I
That's,
would do.
for
And I'm looking at that and looking at my own charts because we got the same move. It's set up quite differently though, and so you'll see the difference. But I absolutely would have wanted that third wave short, scale into the mid, and then especially being your mid setup the way that it is, add
mm-hmm. Yes,
because it's extraordinarily low risk.
yes. So that's by far the trade of the day. Now there was other trades that set up, but that was the trade of the day, no question.
Beautiful. All right, let me show you mine. That didn't work the way I wanted it to. Do do do
I'm going to
do.
stop sharing.
Yeah, no worries. Brain. 1, 2, 3, go. All right,
Okay, I can
so
see it.
the setup of the morning was I told you that what I was looking for is a pullback to this area here. And I wanted to hit that target that we were above this channel. I didn't really see a buying channel to the upside, so I was really thinking we were going to continue short. I wanted to pull back to here or to here. So I wasn't here because I had meetings, but this being my target, if you want to go review the morning prep, you know that I said that. And so here's what I was seeing. So the first thing I want to point out is a chart that's going to show you what I want to show you. There we go. And then this one. This is important too because it just shows you my momentum idea. So this is basically the morning, and what happens is you get this open, um, you get this, excuse me, test up, push all the way down through the overnight low, and then predictably buyers step in at the top of the selling channel, and you start seeing expanding demand. There's buyers wanting this. But what happens right before they get to the high of this or where the selling had begun? And you'll notice that this down move wasn't really extraordinarily large selling compared to the up move. That's kind of interesting.
Hmm.
But anyways, it gets up here and it starts balancing and balance and balance and balance and balance. And look at the time of day this is. This is 10:30. This is prime, activity time. And we should be moving. We're not moving. And what you see is that we're actually being absorbed. And when this actually happens, we had previously set up the EMA to the short side being below 200. So we're challenging back into the 200, could be potentially changing the momentum of the day. But what signals to me that I want to be on the short side is that as soon as you see this big impulse into value, like this one was, immediately the buyers back off. They're not buying into the highs. They're layering in into the highs. And so what happens is that there's still no real selling happening, but the buying just keeps dropping and dropping, and then you start to get some imbalance, and then there's no buying, and then there's really no buying, and then there's absolutely no buying before it turns over. So what makes this the play of the day for me is that not only is it the location I was ready to interact with in the morning based on my prep, but then the next thing that I see that I like to see on this play, which I call the balance breakdown play. What I'm looking for is ideally you get a pull shift. We didn't get the pull shift when we wanted to, but what we do see is lowering opposition here. Then you see three lowering waves of delta, and finally a fourth one with a algorithmic signal, so that you can see that it's time to click the button. Now I want to bring back over something that again, so it doesn't just look like I'm picking out favorable price action. I just want to show you that this is what. Oh, good God, my mouse is acting like a fool. Um, Micro balance. So what I'm looking for is the EMA reversal so that we're above the 200 like we are, that there's been acceptance across development value, that I see a wave delta exhaustion, and then cumulative delta with us or lowering is a nice thing with a pace of bid initiation. So I'm typically wanting that. I think I have an example in here. Yes, this is what it looks like typically. In this case, it's outside of a buying channel, so this is you get basically the same setup. You see how this comes in strong and then it backs off, backs off, backs off. This is a wider consolidation, but then as I go back to this chart, you can see it's a much tighter consolidation. And so where I execute on this trade is right, very first execution's right there, and I set my risk right there. And when that gets stopped, I take it again right there, and I'm free to add as soon as that breaks, assuming it breaks with a nice strong candle like that one. And as soon as I see this delta expansion right there, I'm in it, adding in, and I'm looking for this, if not more. And in this case, I was actually looking for that value area low of the balance of that balance area, which we pointed out
Right.
earlier. So
Yep.
trade of the day, we're talking 10, 12, 15 maximum ticks of risk for a massive R trade to the downside. Completely in alignment with the battle plan for the morning.
Yeah. Now, it certainly went farther than I thought it would on the downside,
Hmm.
but the trade setup is still the same on mine. And what I've seen many times, and you're looking really at the same trade, different setup, the same movement.
Yes.
Um, and when you cross through the mid like we did just now, that's usually a pole shift change of the whole market complexion, and that's exactly what happened today.
Yeah.
A
And
whole
and
bunch of
that's
longs had to liquidate.
that's what's interesting about this one, because like you said, I think so appropriately that there should have been a pole shift, and there really wasn't. But what you do see in this case is that delta, there is, in addition to the aggression, their absorption, they're backing off. So typically, this starts to move right there. But if you look at that pole shift, I've never studied it, but the fact that it happens where it happens may be a good reason to add in as soon as this balance area starts to break. I don't know. That's not something I've really studied and certainly haven't documented.
Right, but it does make sense.
But it makes sense. Yeah, right. And that is the trade of the day.
Yes.
Well, how long did that take? Hold on, let me look at my clock. It says, what does it say? 11 minutes. 11 minutes and 2 trades of the day have been documented. I love it.
I think that's good.
Hey, man. Anything else?
Mine again. So
Okay. I think that's it.